Lugamon's evolution line will take us on a journey not only through the digital world, but also through the most famous Nordic mythology. This evolution line is not only consistent in its design and inspiration, but all the Digimon share the same virus attribute and are natural carriers of the X antibody. It seems like we are getting more and more virus types as main protagonists as they battle their inner and outer demons. Fusamon is a slime-type Digimon whose entire body is covered with soft fur. Although he is a very curious Digimon and loves to move around, he gets tired easily and spends most of his time sleeping. When danger approaches, they emit a high-pitched warning sound called puppy noise. Fusamon evolves into Bowmon, a lesser Digimon whose entire body, like Fusamon's, is covered with soft fur. They are interested in everything they see and have a habit of smelling it. Although Bowmon is an active Digimon, he easily falls down when running because his legs are short. If there is a step higher than the length of his legs, he cannot walk up or down, so he rolls around in places with many steps. When a hostile entity approaches, he makes a threatening sound with a spark-filled cry called Puppy Spark. Bowmon evolves into Lugamon. Because he has an old-fashioned interface on his forehead, it is speculated that he may be an experimental prototype Digimon from before Digimon were discovered. It is said that the data of a warg that appears in real-world mythology is embedded in the deepest part of the Digicore, and he can display ferocious behavior that is unbecoming of his evolution stage. In the fantasy world of J.R.R. Tolkien, a warg is a large and evil wolf often ridden by orcs. Tolkien based this creature on the myths from Old Norse and Old English. In Norse mythology, a warg is a wolf, like Fenrir, who destroyed the god Odin, and Fenrir's children Skoll and Hati, who perpetually chased the sun and moon. In Old English, a werg is an outcast who may be strangled to death. In George Martin's Game of Thrones universe, some people can enter the minds of animals and perceive the world through their senses and control their actions. The act of doing this is called warging. This is interesting because in Digimon Seekers, Eiji can enter the Digicore of his partner Lugamon and experience the digital world through Lugamon's senses. This is called mind linking. At first glance, Lugamon looks like a cute puppy, but if you are careless with him, you will get a harsh reaction. He has a tendency to primarily recognize those who can control him, and although he is difficult to tame, if you can establish a relationship of trust with him, he can become a reliable companion. His special attacks are Howling Fire, in which he shoots out magical flames from his mouth, and Spiral Bite, in which he bites and rotates with his sharp fangs. Lugamon evolves into Lugarmon, a demonic beast-type Digimon that generates an enormous amount of magical power within his body. Since the amount of magical power he generates is unusual, he constantly emits magical power converted into flames from his mouth. This flame has enough burning and spreading power to burn the surrounding area just by roaring. Since the flame is derived from magical power, it will continue to burn for quite a long time, and those hit by it will suffer more damage than expected. Because he has an old-fashioned interface on his forehead, it is speculated that he is an evolved form of a prototype Digimon. His special attacks are Howling Burner, in which he releases a converging beam of flame from his mouth, and Flame Blow, in which he wraps his entire body in magical flames and rams into it. Lugarmon evolves into Sol Lugarmon, a Digimon that succeeded in controlling the ominous magical data power of the mythical dragon warg that was sleeping in the deepest parts of the Digicore. The Sol in his name is the personification of the sun and the god in ancient Roman religion. A program code written in a special language runs inside the armor that covers his entire body, and he controls the vast amount of magical power that has become a raging demonic flame, just like sealing magic. By manipulating this program code, Sol Lugarmon can freely manipulate the demonic flames, and the manipulated demonic flames can be used for all actions, such as attacks, movement, and posture control. From the index and middle fingers on both hands, he can generate convergent ultra-high temperature magic flames called prominence lasers, and although it is a flame, it can shoot through enemies at long distances like a laser beam. His special attack is Eruption Howling, in which he uses the mace in his right hand called Vanagander to burn magic flames at the highest temperature and form a blade and slash. It is said that when the ultra-hot flame blade rubs against the air, it emits a sound similar to a wolf's howl. Vanagander is another name for Fenrir, the wolf from Norse mythology. Sol Lugarmon also uses the attack Skoll Rage, in which he moves at high speed with the thrust of blowing out magical flames from both shoulders and strikes the opponent with Vanagander. Skoll is another wolf, son of Fenrir, who chases the sun personified in the goddess Sol. Lugarmon can also evolve into Hell Lugarmon, a Digimon that is in a chaotic state, overflowing with vast amounts of magical power, as the ominous magical power data of the mythical warg that was dormant in the deepest parts of the Digicore has been released through the interface on his forehead. The vast amount of magical power is converted into magical flame, and it continues to gush out without end. The ultra-high temperature demonic flames are also burning up Hellugarmon's own body, so much of his entire body has been replaced with demonic flames. He has also lost his sense of self, and his only principle of action is to burn down everything around him. His special moves are Howling Burst, in which he releases a blast of flame that spreads from his mouth, and Inferno Claw, in which he cuts the enemy with claws coated in ultra-high temperature magic flame. The attack in which he releases Inferno Claws with both hands, cutting the opponent while pinching them and crushing them, is called Hati Embrace. In Norse mythology, Hati is the other son of Fenrir, who chases the moon, personified as Mani, across the night sky, just like his brother Skoll chases the sun during the day. Both Sol Lugarmon and Hel Lugarmon can evolve into Fenrir Lugamon. Fenrir Lugamon is a fictional Digimon created by the imagination of the Digicore. He is an evolved form in which even the creativity of the Digicore itself is miraculously released through the interface on his forehead. Perhaps because the Digicore originally contained data about wargs that appear in myths from the real world, the form created by the Digicore was the ultimate demonic beast, clad in silver armor and possessing inexhaustible magical power. The blue demonic flames that cover his entire body are under the control of his own will, and although the combustion temperature is extremely high, during normal times it flickers silently and beautifully. His special attacks are Ragnarok Howling, in which he instantly explodes and burns the blue flames he wears with a howl, incinerating the surrounding area. In Norse mythology, Ragnarok is a foretold series of imminent events, including a great battle in which many great Norse mythological figures will perish, including the gods Odin, Thor, Tyr, Freyr, Heimdall and Loki. It will involve a catastrophic series of natural disasters, like the burning of the world, and culminate in the submersion of the world underwater. After these events, the world will rise again, cleansed and fertile. The surviving and returning gods will meet, and the world would be repopulated by two human survivors, Lif and Lifthrasir. With the attack Jotunheimr Gale, he cuts the opponents with laser-shaped magical flames that erupt from his limbs. Jotunheimr is one of the 9 realms of Norse cosmology. Fenrir Lugamon can also summon a demon flame clone called Throdavitnish, and since this clone can use the same techniques as Fenrir Lugamon, it will likely be quite a struggle for opponents. Both his name and this attack are inspired by Fenrir, as Throdanish is one of his names. Which Digimon from this video is your favorite? Tell me in the comments below. If you want to support me, you can do so on Patreon or buy me coffee, the links are in the description below. Thank you for watching, stay tuned for more Digimon videos. P.S. Make sure to follow my community page on YouTube, as I also post updates about upcoming videos there.